All right, guys, we are under contract. What's next? Title work. I'm here with Lori Murphy with Title Services of Florida, and we're gonna go over all of the things that go into the whole title side of things, and really what we can do as agents to make it easier on not only our title agent, but also our client. We want these deals to go as smooth as possible. So Lori, thank you so much for being here with us today. And so I guess let's just start, give us a basic idea of your role as the title agent, because me as an agent, I know how important it is. But a lot of people probably don't understand. So what exactly do you do as a title agent?
Okay, well, first of all, thank you for doing this today. I appreciate it. As far as the title agent, our goal is ultimately to get your client to the closing table with the least amount of stress as possible, to hand them a title policy that is free and clear so that they know that they can, go into their home, into their new home, knowing that everything has been taken care of on the back end. So back end, that's where, our job goes into. So ultimately what I want to do is I want to make you look good to your client. So that way when they get to close and they're like, high five, Al is the absolute fantastic best agent ever. Good. And then also at the closing table, the client feels comfortable. This whole process, it can be very scary. A lot of people have never done it before. Maybe they've never done it in Florida, or maybe they've done it a few times but had a bad experience. Yeah. So my goal is from the very first conversation I have with them is to make them feel completely at ease, knowing that they can have the fun and the enjoyment of selling and buying a house. I'll take care of all the work.
Makes total sense. So I guess let's start, like us as an agent. All right, we make the offer.
Okay.
Like, is there anything we could do while we're making the offer to kind of start the process off?
Oh, yes. Yes, making sure that you ask a lot of questions. Understanding, is the home gonna be in a trust? Okay, us knowing, is it in an estate? Is it in an LLC? Is it, who are the names on the warranty deed?
Okay.
Who's going to be buying the house? At the bottom of the contract, there's also these three little lines that I always see blank for some reason. And it's the buyer's address and the seller's address.
Yes.
They're always blank. That would be fantastic to fill those in.
Okay.
and with the client's phone number, because what that does is that allows me to make the initial conversation to the client. Yes. Ultimately, like I said, I want them to feel at ease. They're going to be sending me money, via wire. I want them
not
to
only
talk
a couple
to me.
bucks.
Yeah, it's not a couple bucks. A couple thousands,
couple
hundreds of
thousands.
thousands.
Yes.
So I want them to feel comfortable from day one of talking to me. So yeah, on the contract itself, making sure that you put in as much information as possible. Also, if there is an HOA, making sure that you fill out that HOA rider to its fullest. There's actually another thing at the bottom of that one. There's three little lines where you can put the HOA information. That'd be fantastic.
So, yeah, and like these are things we think of, and it's not really about making your life easier. At the end of the day, it's for our clients, man. Like you guys, these people, they're making, this is usually the largest investment of their life, the biggest purchase of their life. And if you can take away any stress, if you could take away any uncertainty, man, like, if you could do it as easy as getting a little extra information up front, man, so it's good. I'm learning myself,
Good.
So once a contract is in, we get it accepted, immediately, we're talking with the title agent, right?
Absolutely.
Such a big part of this. A lot of people don't realize this.
We just sit in the back room and we'll see you in 30 days.
Yeah, no. This is pretty much like, we do the easy stuff, and now you do all the dirty work. But
that's good. That's
yeah. No, so once we're under contract and you have the information you need, like, what happens next? We're pretty much, I know as the agent, like, it's like, all right, so what next?
Yep. So on the front page of the contract, it actually has the title information on there. Okay. So as soon as I receive the contract, obviously we open up a file, and then what I do is I send a welcome letter as well as our information sheet to the agent, both agents, letting them know, who we are, what we need in order to get a smooth closing, including, like their distribution authorization. If you want to be closed at the or you want to be paid at the closing table, I need that from your broker.
Yes.
Otherwise, I am making a check to the broker, no questions asked. So having that a couple weeks in advance before closing, fantastic. Outside of that, I make an initial phone call to the client, introducing myself, letting them know who I am on both sides, you know. So at that point, I can ask the seller, you know, I need their marital status. So on the warranty deed, you have to have their marital status and their address. So do they have a forwarding address? Or is the buyer going to use this as their primary address? Or do they live in New Jersey and this is a second home? That's extremely important to have on the warranty deed because the tax bill is going to go to that address.
Yeah. Okay.
And then also I talk to the buyer for the wiring instructions. So I'm going to be sending them our wiring instructions for the escrow deposit. As you know, it has to be to us in 3 days.
Yep.
That's time is of the essence, so I need to have that information up front so I can make it very, very smooth. And like we said, they're not sending me a couple dollars. You know, they're sending thousands of dollars and they want to feel comfortable where it's going to.
So title agents got to be nice.
Very nice.
All right. So now, I'm always curious. How do you find out, what kind of searches do you do to make sure that everything's legit? You know, like, how do you know that they don't owe somebody millions of dollars and you buy this house and now all of a sudden you owe some, you know, like how does all this work? Where do you look?
There's a little secret box. No, I'm just kidding. So it's a great question.
Yeah.
So first of all, just so you understand, we don't start spending any money per se until the inspection period's done, if it's a cash deal. So this is another part where the agents can truly help us out. Once that, say you have 7 days for inspection, but you do the inspection in 5 days, and everyone is okay to go forward, call me. Let me know, you know what, we're good, it's graced, go. Because at that point, that's when I'm gonna start ordering everything. If it's a finance deal, I'm not gonna order anything until I get the title request from the lender. And I say start spending money because I'm upfronting everything at first, and then of course, you know, I mean, at closing, it gets taken care of. So within that, we're going to do, if it's an HOA, we have to do an estoppel. So we have to contact the homeowners association to get the estoppel to make sure everything is, all of their assessments are up to date, you know, they paid their dues, all that kind of good stuff. We also do a municipal lien search. So the municipal lien search is going to check, you know, the county, the city, and just to make sure there's no codes, there's no open permits, expired permits, make sure the taxes are all being paid. So we have that, and then we also do a title search. So the title search is going to actually go into, is there a mortgage on the property? Has that mortgage been satisfied? If there was a death, you know, do we need a death certificate? Has that death certificate been recorded within the county? Is there a trust? So that's where you really, really get into the nuts and bolts of the property, that you really, really do want to make sure that it is a free and clear title, because you don't want someone coming and knocking on your door and saying that there's a lien on that property from 10, 15 years ago.
Or probate's another word that I remember dealing with.
Probate is another one, yes. So probate is a whole other monster in itself. And I will tell you, because we're starting to do education in April, we're actually going to have a representative from Old Republic Title doing a class all on probate. So we're going to hold off on that one.
Oh, awesome.
A little teaser.
Well, I am really, pretty much everything we're going through here, I'm sure we could probably spend an hour on each thing. So that's cool. You're going to start doing these classes and stuff?
Yes, yes. So once a month we do a call party. Yes. So once a month we do a call party. And call parties for anybody who has clients. It's not just realtors. You know, I mean, I'm a title agent. I have people that I need to call as well. Mortgage lenders, they have people that they have to call. And the cool thing about the call party, real quick, is it puts it on your calendar to be on the phone for 2 hours.
Yeah, that's important.
It's accountability.
Yep.
So what I'm doing, because I already have people here or via Zoom, we're gonna start tagging in a little lunch, which is always nice, and then a learning from Old Republic Title.
I guess once you found all this stuff, right? Now say something came up, when it comes to fixing it, like, do you just say, hey, I'll fix it? Or like, how does that work?
That'd be nice. No, no. So we get a title commitment back. So the title search is done, and we get a title commitment back. And in that title commitment on the Schedule A, there's different requirements that have to be done in order to close. So at this point in time, this is where another reason I have to have the seller's phone number. Because that's who I'm going to go to directly. I could call you, but then in turn you're going to call them. So I just go straight to the source because I've already formed that relationship. So I call the seller and say if there's a mortgage, I need to get the payoff. The payoff has to be done at closing. So I call them, they contact their mortgage lender, or if they want to give me personal information, I can contact it for them. And so then that way that's a check off the box.
Nice.
Say there are taxes that have not been paid, that pulls up on there. I call and I talk to the seller, 9 times out of 10 they know they didn't pay their taxes.
Yeah.
So I just inform them that we're going to take it out of closing. Okay, fine, no problem. Say there's a judgment that was against them. I just make sure they know about it. And actually we have had some things that come back on the commitment, it's not them. So then I have to take it a step further and I call the county records and I have to find out maybe the middle name was different than their middle name or something. So I mean, there's things that you can get into that it takes a little bit longer, but that's what we do.
Has there ever been anything that was on that property, on that title from a previous owner that pops up?
Yes.
And it throws, really?
Oh yes, yes. And that's where we really thrive to devote ourselves to make sure that we do check off all the boxes, because ultimately what it is somebody missed the mark. You know, I mean, there was a title company or an attorney who did the closing that missed the mark. And so I don't want that. I don't ever want that phone call.
God,
we're actually working, we just finished working on one and we couldn't find the satisfaction of a construction loan on this property. Well, come to find out there was 5 parcels on the property and he paid 4 of them off, and the other one, it was kind of a little shady situation. So, yeah, so we had to dig a little deeper. We did end up getting the satisfaction, but it was in a roundabout way that we had to do it. So, I mean, I was actually looking up on the county records for the plat. So I'm looking at the plat, the search and the book and the page and going a little bit. So it's kind of cool. It's like a little Sherlock Holmes going at it. It's kind of fun.
Really, at the end of the day though, if something was to be missed or something came up after they bought and now they're in a big mess, I mean, they look at us. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
The agent is who they're gonna go after.
You're gonna get the first phone call.
Yeah.
Now, ultimately, it comes back on us as a title company, and we will fix it for you. But no, you're gonna get the first phone call. So that's why I want you to look good for your client. I want them to love you, because ultimately, then you'll continue to use us as a title company. So I mean, it's a win-win for everybody, full circle.
Very cool. So now you went in, you dug deep, you found some issues, hopefully none, but they were on. We fixed them.
Yep.
Then we closed, right?
Pretty much. We're getting we're getting there. So let's say it's a cash deal.
Yeah.
Cash is king. We love cash, you know? So then we have our settlement statement. Okay. So our settlement statement that we put everything in there. Say we found, you know, that there was taxes had to be paid, all the prorations are right, blah, 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 whatever. So I'm gonna send you this settlement statement. And I need you to not just open it, I need you to review it and make sure that, you know, for one, your commissions are correct. Make sure that all of the dates are correct. If there was a credit, a seller credit or something that was supposed to be on there, make sure that that is on there. So I really need for you to go through it. And if you're uncomfortable with it, call me and say, hey, Lori, will you go through this with me? 100%. I mean, I look at it all day long. I want to make sure that when we're sitting at the closing table, you don't look at me and say, oh, we missed a credit.
Yeah.
That doesn't make anybody feel good, and it doesn't make anybody look good. So,
especially when the mortgage is ready to be paid off and everybody's got the money there.
It's not a good thing.
Luckily, I haven't dealt with it yet, but I could just imagine, because every time I'm at a closing table, I'm like, God, I just hope everything's right. I hope everything's right, you know, because I know how bad it would be.
You know, I mean, and we're human, but I will say that that is something that we're devoted to. So when I send the Alta statement to you, all I'm looking for is for you to send it back as, yes, looks great. Or can you change this? Can you do this? Can you do this? Because ultimately, when I get the commissions, I'm looking at the MLS first and foremost. Okay, but there could be changes. There could be a variable, you know, commission or something like that. So making sure that you're getting paid correctly. Also at that time, making sure I have your distribution authorization from your broker. So that way when we do sit down at the table, I not only have a check for your broker, I have a check for you. You can leave with cash. And then, so once the Alta is approved, I send it out to both clients, so the seller and the buyer both see the settlement statement with the wiring instructions for the buyer, so they can go ahead and send the money that needs to be sent. The seller understands what they're walking away with, so there's no surprises at the table once again. And if it's finance, it's just a little step further because I have to balance the CD with the lender. So once I balance with the lender.
You guys are important. So important. No, and you know, that's why we're here, really. You know, like a lot of people don't realize what a closing agent does, what the title company does, man, and it's huge. And it does make our life easier. So it's good to hear the ways that we can make your life easier. Because at the end of the day, once again, it's our clients.
It's all about the client.
You know, we want them to just you know, go
Yep.
through the whole deal and say, well, everything's taken care of, no stress. Everybody talked to me every day, told me what was going on.
Yes.
So that's
and communication
awesome.
is key. Communication is key from the very, very beginning of this. And that's why I say, I mean, it starts at the offer. It starts at the contract. It's making sure that we are proactive in, you know, understanding everything, you know, and especially with the trust. I mean, a trust has to be recorded in the county that the property is sold. I mean, that's something that we have to know. So we have to have a copy of that trust.
Wow.
Now, if they don't want to share all of the information inside of the trust, totally understand that. We need the front page and the last page, and then they sign an addendum. So there's other things that can be done, but there's a lot. It's funny as I talk, I'm like, huh, okay, I do a lot of stuff.
That's a lot, yeah, man. Well, so that's awesome, man. You know, I appreciate you sharing some of this knowledge with me, and these classes are there. That's huge. I'm going to be at a lot of them because really, at the end of the day, everything I do, I want to learn, and I want to learn. I want to be better, and I want to know all aspects. Am I going to be a title agent? Probably not, but it's good to know what goes on behind the scenes, how much you do. If I can make your life easier, you know, it makes everything better, you know.
Good. I appreciate that.
Yeah, so guys, once again, we have Lori here with Title Services of Florida. Beautiful office. Actually got the same office out here as eXp on the island on Seaway Drive, right across from Chuck Seafood. We do a lot of cool things at this office as well. Every third Thursday, we do Thirsty Third Thursday. We do some quarterly events out front where we get bands out there. And we also have the Rising Tides Foundation that works out of here as well. And we have volleyball tournaments, so a lot of cool stuff. Lori, you know, like
we're kind of busy.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a good thing, you know.
I love it.
And I think that's why, you know, we all kind of have fun together because we all just want to be a part, not only be a part of the community, be a part of good things in the community and be a part of the growth.
Yes.
You know, and it's a nice feeling. So thank you for what you do. Guys, title is important. Learn this stuff. Hope to see you guys at some of these classes.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see ya.
Bye.